mean, here's the thing. It's most of them aren't.
Welcome back. In this particular segment, we're going to consider a hashtag that is being used quite a bit nowadays. It refers to fat shaming. And in this particular episode, what we're going to do, we're going to look at the mentality that this hashtag comes from. And we're going to see whether or not this is a reasonable mentality to have, especially in regards to something that could quite possibly shorten your lifespan. But before I get too in depth with the material that we're going to look at, let's go into the video. It's actually an interview, and it's from a content creator called Nico Valley. He has shows on Saturday evening where he is talking to individuals one-on-one, and he's trying to do some good. And I appreciate him for allowing me to use this particular clip. So let's get into the first part of this interview, because I think it's necessary for us to delve into this mentality. So let's take a look at the video.
No.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So what? Is all men choose wrong?
I mean, here's the thing. It's most of them aren't, but at the same time,
You said so. Most of them.
yeah, most of them ain't shit. Like you gotta do what you need to do to have it done. I need that bag secured. I'm already down.
So now, usually I don't interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt during this video because there are some things that I need to make clear. First of all, do you think this is the attitude coming into trying to build a relationship with someone of the opposite sex? Your thought process is already that it's not worth doing, because the individuals who you're looking at, the individuals who you want to pair with, you already have a negative estimation of who these individuals are. So how can you have a productive and a fulfilling relationship coming in thinking that the person that you are trying to have a relationship with is not worth the effort? Does that make sense to you? Let's keep going.
I want to be down with a dude that's down also. That makes no sense.
So if you already want your bag secure, you gotta have a bag. Like what do you need? What do you need from him?
I need to have my own car. You need to have your own car.
Do he got
3-4 bedroom house?
3-4 bedroom house.
Yeah, like I need to bring.
Does he have to make all that happen, or what? How does that?
Yeah.
work?
Why would you not make that happen? That's what the man's supposed to do.
Damn.
I pause because I want to let that resonate with you all. I want y'all to let that sit in. This woman, and now for the moment, what we're going to do is set the obvious aside, okay? We're not going to look at the obvious issue that's here, but I want you to thoroughly see the mentality of this young lady. All of these things that have to be provided for her is her standard. 3-4 bedroom house. He has to have his own car. She has to have her own. Now, here's the thing. I am in full agreement with, and as men, standing on the things that we should do. Not only standing on them, but meeting the challenges that present themselves with being a provider and a protector. So there's nothing wrong with these things in themselves. But there absolutely is a problem when someone feels like they're entitled to these particular resources, I should say, and they're already coming into a situation with a negative attitude. Now, you don't value me as a person, but then you want me to provide all of these things for you. Once again, does that make sense to you? Let's keep going.
So what are you bringing to the table? If he got to get the houses, he got to get this big ass house. Like
what am I bringing to the table?
Yeah.
I showed up to the table.
You showed up to the table.
Yeah, I showed up to the table. I graced your table with my presence. What do you mean?
Man, everything you said makes no.
So as I mentioned, the entitlement of this particular mentality is overwhelming. I showed up to the table. So basically what you're telling me is that you can't enunciate. You can't enunciate what you bring. You can't tell me what your value is, what you have to offer in the situation. You can tell me what I'm expected to bring, what I have to have on deck. But you don't have anything that you're supposed to bring. You just brought yourself. See, this is the reason why you have a lot of individuals in the red pill community, which I'm not a part of, but you have a lot of people in the red pill community who get angry. Hence the term red pill rage, because all of these things that she's wanting is from individuals who are working, individuals who are being productive, who are trying to be the best possible person that they can be. And she is stagnant. She's complacent. I brought myself to the table. The mentality is one that there is no work that she has to do. Every person out of all of the 8 billion individuals on the face of this planet, everyone has something to work on. There's never any room for anybody to be complacent. There's always something that you can improve upon. But when you foster this kind of mentality, where a person can be complacent about things that are obvious issues, then it spills over into other things. What do I mean? Well, let's get into that toward the end of the video, okay? Let's let the video play out, and then we'll come in and give our observation.
How does that not make sense? When if a man be materialistic and just want the woman, then it's okay. But if a woman want it, it's different. Like that makes no sense.
Okay. So now let's look at the video. I did quite a bit of talking because, to be honest with you, as a thinking, reasoning, rational human being, how is it that we have come to a point as a society that we don't have to progress? We don't have to improve on anything. You take me as I am, or you don't take me. Well, I mean, it's not a reasonable conclusion to come to. It's not. Because we all should be striving to be better people. The better the individuals are, the better society is. That's a fact. So if you got individuals in the group, and all of those individuals are striving to be better, then the individuals, the family members, the friends that are within that particular group, or that are connected to the individuals in that particular group, they're going to benefit from it too. When you take the initiative to make your life better, to improve, then you improve the situation for people around you. That's why I can't agree with this now. I can't agree with this kind of mentality. I just can't. So now let's get to the meat of the discussion. The meat of the discussion. The mentality that she has deluded herself with is rather apparent. But then now let's put things into context. The demands that this particular young lady has of any individual that would be a suitor for her is unreasonable, not because of what she is asking for, but because of the attitude that comes with it. As individuals, we are not entitled to anything. We gain things based upon our approach. And I must admit that her approach is full of negativity. At the beginning of the video, she makes it absolutely plain that we're not worth the effort. She makes that known. Now, the term that she used and the language she used, of course, I'm not going to use it, but it was there. And then to progress further, now that you have made it known that you don't view these individuals as being worthwhile, now here are the inordinate standards that you have that you expect the man to bring to you, even though you don't even value him. You don't value him. You don't value the things that he does. How long do you think a man is going to be involved in a relationship where the things that he does, the sacrifices that he makes, are going to be ignored in favor of this particular attitude? On top of that, let's add to it that this particular young lady is overweight. She is, by any standards. Okay? And so, as I mentioned, this whole mentality comes from the thought of fat shaming, which is something that I absolutely disagree with. Now, do I believe that an individual should be content and proud of who they are presently? Absolutely. But it goes back to a thought that I expressed earlier. There's always a need to be better. You always can be better. And it's especially true with individuals who are overweight and obese. Listen, we are talking about something that could potentially end your life. And as men, it's not a stretch to say that we don't want to become involved in this situation, because we are reasonable, we're logical individuals. And when we see individuals who have an excess amount of weight, personally, now I can't speak for, let me not speak for all men, but let me tell you what I think about. I think about the health problems that are going to come as a result. You might be well now, you might be healthy now, but later on in life, it has been consistently proven that the more weight you have, the difficulties that come in as a result of old age increase. Heart disease, one of the leading instances or the leading diseases that are killing women in the community. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they're overweight. And then let me paint a scenario for you. As men, one of the things that we are concerned with, especially productive men, is leaving legacy, having children. Now, at her size and weight, do you think that it would be a safe, notice the words I use now, do you think it would be a safe situation for her to become pregnant? Do you think it could endanger the life of herself and the child? So now let's say, for instance, a productive, competitive individual has decided that he is going to spend the rest of his life with this particular young lady, and she becomes pregnant. Don't you think that her weight would be a concern to her husband? Because think about it. When you get married or when you're in a long-term relationship, this particular person is someone that you see yourself spending the rest of your life with. And that particular picture could be dashed to pieces because she has decided that her weight may not be an issue, when it absolutely is an issue. It's an issue. So it's not fat shaming. Not in this particular case. It's not fat shaming. There is a certain perception that we have in our community of weight, and that perception needs to go away. Because if you're not healthy, if you have a large amount of excess weight, later on in life, you're going to pay for that. So now while you're young, you're able-bodied, why not do something? Why not do something? Why not fight so that later on in life, the things that many people have to deal with, you won't have to? I just don't understand, you all. I don't. And so I took this time to really give my thoughts on the video, because I think that this is something we need to work on, y'all. We do. We absolutely do. The attitude of entitlement that was expressed in this particular video comes from the fact that this particular young lady evidently saw no need to work on this aspect of her life, her fitness. And that entitlement rolls into other areas. And so it really tends to lend itself toward delusion. This is a fantasy that she's living in. And sad to say, a lot of times when individuals like this get involved with someone of the opposite sex that don't meet their requirements, then here comes the name calling. Here comes the insults. It's ridiculous. Final thoughts. Please, you all, take your health seriously. And then you'll notice that the more positive you are about your health, the more positive you will be about the rest of your life, because you're taking things into your own hands. You're not complacent. You don't feel like there's no work to do. You're actively looking for ways to make yourself better, and everyone around you benefits as a result. Please, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always,